Okay. Diana from TV Fanatic, go ahead and ask your question.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today, Brett. It's so good to see both of you. It's so good to see you again. My question is for Ella. Ella, how do you feel being part of two of the most amazing animated series, Arcane and Prodigy?
It's wild. I must have had a good year. It's cool. It's really amazing. You can never really predict how things are going to go down, but I feel very, very privileged. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next question is from Onika from Mommy Factor. Go ahead.
Hi, my first question is for Ella. So I noticed that Gwen is going through a lot of changes as the series progresses. Do you get a heads up about what's going to happen with her, and how do you prepare for that?
I do to a certain extent. Like at the first audition that we had, I asked some questions and they'll reveal some stuff. But for the most part, the details, the nitty-gritty, you only really get as you get the script. They'll be like, oh, you have a session on Wednesday, here's 3 scripts. So then you'll read all of them and learn everything. So no, I mean, the season finale was definitely a huge shock. I mean, I have just as many questions as the audience does. I only, learn things as we go. So no, I wasn't expecting it at all. I thought it was incredibly sophisticated and complex and deep and just really smart. And then, yeah, I'm excited for everyone to see where it goes.
All right, our next question is from Giraffe.
Yeah, hi. Hi, my question is for Brett. So Dal has gone through a lot of changes during this first part of the first season. It was not the favorite of everybody at the beginning. How do you approach having such growth, and will that continue?
Yes, there's so much more growth. I love Dal's arc because, you don't always start off this perfect leader, and it's not always sort of pretty at the beginning of figuring things out and learning how to be a friend to people and to put other people before yourselves. And Dal was on a planet where he was trapped in sort of slave labor and not able to communicate with people around him for most of his sort of adolescent life. And so I think, assimilating to a group of people and learning how to be able to empathize with other people of other communities and other species and ages, when it comes to people like Rock, I think it was awesome that he wasn't the favorite for me, because he wasn't my favorite either at first. And his growth is only going to 10x as he sort of learns who he is and what his role really, really is and how he can, most contribute to the team.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our next question is from Diana from TV Fanatic.
Hi again. The two of you leading this intrepid crew of misfits, and the conflict with not being able to directly take Protostar to the Federation. How do you feel each of your characters? How is there a disappointment? What is the primary feeling when that realization hits your character? Either or both of you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a bummer. I think, for a while they were preparing for this and they were working hard to make sure that they were, going to be able to get to Federation and make sure that people understood what their actual intention was behind not only just the ship, but who they want to become in, hopefully Starfleet someday. So I think, the lack of communication, as well as sort of like the actual reason why they can't go, is really hard on them, because again, it's just yet another obstacle for people to sort of misjudge what they're doing, and something else that they have to figure out and fix in order to sort of achieve their goals. So yeah, I think it's disappointment and frustration, but also sort of readiness and willingness to make sure that they are heard in the correct way.
Yeah,
Our next-
that's great. I'm not going to ruin that answer with mine. That's good.
Our next question is from Anika from Mommy Factor.
Hi, this question is for Brent. During the episodes, you guys go on so many adventures, right? If you could choose one of the adventures to go on in real life, do you have a favorite? You can answer too if you want to jump in.
I love like the holodeck and sort of everything around that. I would love to have a holodeck in my house and sort of take my friends on these journeys and, you know, go wherever we want to and figure stuff out in the safety of my own virtual reality AI room. Hopefully the metaverse and all of that gets there at some point in time. But yeah, I'd say the holodeck, the Kobayashi Maru, anything like that where sort of I'm safe, but can sort of explore the worlds.
I'm going to go, I know it's not strictly an adventure, but it depends on your mindset, because I would say the food replicator.
Yes.
And it's not, you know, I understand that it's not really answering the question, but I still think that would be my go-to choice. Yeah.
Our next question is from Deacon with Ms. Hollywood.
Oh. Oh my God.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure this one out. It's not working as I should. So this was for Brett and Ella. Since you mentioned, Brett, you mentioned the Kobayashi Maru, and I just recently saw that episode. My question for you both is, were you Trek fans prior to getting this role, or these roles, I should say? And Brett, knowing that your voice was going to be tied in to the legends of Star Trek, could you speak to that?
Yeah, it was really nerve-wracking, to be honest. To answer the first part of the question, this is my introduction into Star Trek as a world. I'd always known what it was, of course. It has a giant force on our planet. I remember seeing some Star Trek as, you know, growing up, but never sort of had a way in. So this is my first time. And I remember when I was reading the script and seeing who was going to be in the Kobayashi Maru with me. And I actually asked, like, our producers, the Hagemans, like, are you guys sure you want to put me next to Spock and all of these people? Because I am not going to be able to, like, you know, one, live up to this sort of like legendary voices, but also like I play way too much, you know, it's sort of going to be not serious. And I think, you know, they really embraced the fact that it was my first time, because it was Dal's first time and he'd never heard of the Kobayashi Maru either, or Star Trek or any of these things. So we got to learn, when I say we, me and Dal, we got to learn together. You know, who better to learn by than the people I got to be in the Kobayashi Maru with. So I feel kind of honored that I get to be able to say, oh yeah, I did a scene with Spock before.
And I feel jealous that you got to do that, and I did not. Same, this was my introduction to the Star Trek universe as well. So like, same as Brett, I knew of it. I know what this is, but I didn't really know what it meant. But I knew how to do it. Yeah. Same as me.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Onika with Mommy Factor.
This question is for both of you. How do you think that your characters will inspire the next generation? Or maybe how do you want your characters to inspire the next generation? Also a question.
I want to come up with something really smart here. I think for me, I mean, Gwyn's whole journey is about maybe forging her own identity outside of what she came from. You know, she grew up as the daughter of the diviner, of this sort of evil oppressor, and realizing that she's hurt people and he's not a good person, and therefore she has not been a good person. She's done bad things. But through that, she sort of emancipates herself from him and from that world, from Tars Lamora, and becomes a kid and lets her hair down and has fun and learns to value other people and take care of other people and connect with other people and also just be a kid. And so I think that seems like a very big and intense and complex theme that still, you know, we as adults are struggling with, but I don't think it's that hard. And I think kids will get it about figuring out who you are, regardless of, you know, the peer pressure or the social pressure or the family ties that you have.
Yeah, ditto. Finding your place in the universe.
And journalists, thank you so much. That's all the time that we have for today, but thank you so much for joining us here for Star Trek Prodigy.